Hi, friends. Today we're on page 68 reading Little House in the Big Woods. Well, Uncle Peter said, early in the morning, Eliza started to the spring to get a pail of water, and Prince the dog was following her. She got to the edge of the ravine where the path goes down to the spring, and all of a sudden, Prince set his teeth in the back of her skirt and pulled. You know what a big dog he is. Eliza scolded him, but he wouldn't let go. And he's so big and strong, she couldn't get away from him. He kept backing and pulling until he tore a little piece out of her skirt. It was my blue print, Aunt Eliza said to Ma. Dear me, Ma said. He tore a big piece right out of the back of it, Aunt Eliza said. I was so mad I could have whipped him for it, but he growled at me. Prince growled at you, Pa said. Yes, said Aunt Eliza. So then she started on again towards the spring, Uncle Peter went on, but Prince jumped into the path ahead of her and snarled at her. So this is Aunt Eliza's own dog that is barking and snarling at her, not letting her go down and get water at the spring. I wonder why that is. The dog paid no attention to her talking and scolding. He just kept showing his teeth and snarling. And when she tried to get past him, he kept in front of her and snapped at her. That scared her. I should think it would, Ma said. He was so savage, I thought he was going to bite me, said Aunt Eliza. I believe he would have. I never heard of such a thing, said Ma. What on earth did you do? Well, I turned right around and ran into the house where the children were and slammed the door, Aunt Eliza answered. Of course, Prince was savage with strangers, said Uncle Peter, but he was always so kind to Eliza and the children. I felt perfectly safe to leave them with him. Eliza couldn't understand it at all. After she got into the house, he kept pacing around and growling. Every time she started to open the door, he jumped at her and snarled. Had he gone mad? Asked Mom. That's what I thought, Aunt Eliza said. I didn't know what to do. There I was, shut in the house with the children and not daring to go out. And we didn't have any water. I couldn't even get any snow to melt. Every time I opened the door so much as a crack, Prince acted like he would tear me to pieces. How long did this go on? Pa asked. All day till late in the afternoon, Aunt Eliza said. Peter had taken the gun, or I might have shot him. Along late in the afternoon, Uncle Peter said he got quiet and lay down in front of the door. Eliza thought he was asleep, and she made up her mind to try to slip past him and get to the spring for some water. So she opened the door very quietly, but of course he woke right up anyway. When he saw she had the water pail in her hand, he got up and walked ahead of her to the spring, just the same as usual. And there, all around the spring, in the snow, were the fresh tracks of a panther. The tracks were as big as my hand, Aunt Eliza said. Yes, Uncle Peter said. He was a big fellow. His tracks were the biggest I ever saw. He would have got Eliza for sure if Prince had let her go to the spring in the morning. I saw the tracks. He had been lying up in that big oak over the spring, waiting for some animal to come get some water. Undoubtedly, he would have dropped down on top of Aunt Eliza. Night was coming on, and when she saw the tracks, she didn't waste any time getting back to the house with her pail of water. Prince followed close behind her, looking back into the ravine now and then. I took him into the house with me, Aunt Eliza said, and we all stayed inside till Peter came home. Did you get him? Pa asked Uncle Peter. No, Uncle Peter said. I took my gun and hunted all around the place, but I couldn't find him. I saw some more of his tracks. He'd gone north, farther into the big woods. Alice and Ella and Mary were all wide awake now, and Laura put her head under the covers and whispered to Alice, My, weren't you scared? Alice whispered back that she was scared, but Ella was scareder, and Ella whispered that she wasn't either, any such thing. Well, anyway, you made more fuss about being thirsty, Alice whispered. They lay there whispering until Ma said, Charles, those children will never get to sleep unless you play for them. So Pa got his fiddle. Isn't that an amazing story? Can you imagine? So let's talk about that dog. Yes. So their dog, who originally we thought was trying to hurt Aunt Eliza, was actually protecting her from the great panther because dogs have really great senses. They're much stronger than ours. Sense of smell is stronger. Their hearing is stronger. And so their dog knew that something was wrong and protected Aunt Eliza. Can't wait to read more of the story tomorrow. Pretty exciting. Good night, friends.